Hey, bike farmers, thanks for clicking in. Something that's been on my mind lately, and I don't think it's said enough. Bicycles are toys, and fixing them is a hobby. And I don't think there's a better example of that than a made in the USA aluminum Trek 6000 mountain bike. This is the bike you bought when you wanted to try being a serious cyclist in the woods. Really skinny handlebars, shitty fork, 3x8 24-speed drivetrain. This particular bike seems like it's been sitting in a garden shed for quite some time. I've got signs of mold and mildew. It is filthy. There is absolutely no reason on earth to touch this bicycle at all. This is strictly for fun, and this video is strictly for vibes. All we're gonna do is clean, lubricate, and adjust, and get this thing rideable and back on the road. If that's the kind of thing you're into, kick back and relax. I'm gonna get started. Yeah, you can see this derailleur is super rusty, and then there's like this weird corrosion on this crank. Let's see here, try some lemon scented Dawn Power Wash Premium Plus. This, Premium Plus Power Wash, and this is dish spray. Don't use it on anything but dishes. Yeah, so I just don't know how we'd ever get that clean per se. I mean, we can use some 4/0 steel wool to kind of improve our situation a little. But I mean, I could spend a month polishing this, or just a couple of seconds here to demonstrate, and we'll just call that good enough for who it's for now. I mean, this is a pretty terrible situation, but look at that. It's like actually kind of functional. Regardless, yeah, we'll probably find a different cassette and chain for this bike. A lot easier than cleaning it. More evidence of the garden shed here. You know, this is kind of like a surface level corrosion on all of the aluminum parts. It makes me feel like there was like a freeze thaw situation, which makes me think garden shed more than garage, or it could just be like a detached garage. We get that around here in the Great North Woods. And all you need to do is look at the bolt heads and the stem or wherever to know the condition of a bicycle. This one is not good. I think there is a 3 in 10 chance that we'll get clicks out of this shifter. Okay, functioning, but sluggish. Just a quick spray of One Step should bring those right back to life. Not a problem. So per the usual, with the bike in little, which it's not doing anything really because it's too grungy, disconnect the brakes and pop these wheels off and set them aside. Pop these wheels off and set them aside. There we go. I wonder if I let this bike sit outside. It was probably my fault. Most things are. Poor Andy. Just come in here and remove this chain. I was made in the USA. I was made in the USA. Song was anti-American. Yeah, most people don't even know that Born in the USA is a protest song. Very critical of this nation of ours. Warmongering nation of ours. You know, once you get all these cables out of their happy homes, it gives you good access to everything on the frame. I brought out that Dawn Premium Plus Power Wash Lemon Scent because I just felt like with all of those words, it had to be a superior product. But this is Behold Furniture Polish, and it says right here, it's a great quality and it's great value. And it's not a lie. It gives you a brilliant shine and it cleans gently, all while preserving and protecting, that's that word, and it's lemony fresh as well. So we're gonna use this We're gonna apply this liberally, just like Bruce Springsteen applied the words of Born in the USA liberally. Oh man, good thing this is good quality and a good value. Oh, it's a great value. And then just like a freshly evacuated butthole, give it a good wiping. Hey bike farmers, just a friendly reminder to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're able to support more directly, hit the super thanks button and send me some taco money. Or better yet, join the channel as a monthly sustaining member and be the first to see new videos and get late access to the live streams. And after you've watched this video all the way to the end, head on over to BikeFarmer.com and pick yourself up some merch or score yourself something cool from the barn sale. Now let's get back to the bikes. So here's the thing. Look at those. Those are the Wubby Dubbies. They just disintegrate. You know, you take this to your bike shop and they're gonna replace your cables and probably your housing. And a full set of cables and housing is like 40 bucks probably now. I don't know, I haven't really looked at it in a while, but it takes forever to replace everything. And so for that bike shop to make any money doing it, they gotta charge you like 120 bucks. Oh, drop my, whatever you call this, 4/0 steel wool. They're gonna have to charge you like 120 bucks an hour to make any money on it at all, at least. But I don't know what they're charging at auto repair places now, but I bet you it's 200 bucks an hour, right? But the way the bike industry has us going, you know, modern bicycles are pretty complex. And when you have internal cable routing and tubeless tire setups and hydraulic disc brakes and electronic shifting, and now, well, e-bikes are pretty complicated machines. All of those things take considerable technical expertise to fix. Every brand's got their own proprietary bullshit going on. And it doesn't matter that this bike is old and obsolete and virtually worthless. They still have to charge you the labor to stay in business. The margins are tighter and things are more complex and take way more time and resources to figure out. Somebody got carried away with the spray paint, and it is everywhere on the side of the bike. Goof off. Pro strength. It works the first time. Let's test that. So it says it removes dried latex paint. I believe that most spray paint is latex paint, right? I'm more concerned with the stuff on the frame. Goof off has come through for me before. Okay, it's coming. So, gotta give it a chance to work. Woo, that's working. So imagine taking this bike to the shop and paying a guy like $120 an hour to do this. You know, we get asked to do that sometimes here in bike shops, and it ain't worth it. But if you know what you're doing, you can find a bike like this for next to nothing. And then you should always have some adhesive remover laying around your house and maybe an old rag. You can do this yourself on a nice Sunday morning after a large snowstorm ruined your life yesterday. Boy, howdy, I ain't kidding. Check this out. Whew. Oh, man. Guy's over there plowing. I got my snowblower ready to go right there. But it'll take me about an hour to clean it up and bury the tandem. Yeah, so we get snowstorms, you know, quite a bit, I guess, around here. You know, it is Wisconsin. But this fluffy snow and like 8 or 10 inches like this doesn't happen as often as one might think. And when you go into the woods, into the forest, after a snowstorm like this with some snowshoes, it is absolutely magical. Whenever I think about people that live in California or someplace where the weather is just super nice all the time and very boring, yet they're still miserable people. I always think of these snowy days. So Mrs. Bike Farmer and I, as soon as I'm done with this and clean that up, we're gonna hop in the car and go to Scuppernong State Forest and go snowshoeing. I love snowshoeing. It's great. It's peaceful. It's beautiful. It's good living. Whew. This is like an ether rag. Stoned to the bejesus belt right now. Oh, check out this little thing I made. Fart Sucker 3000. Yeah, I was a bit triggered this morning. There's a Facebook group out there called Cycling Industry Recovery. And what's interesting is it was started many years ago as a place for 12-steppers, you know, people in recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. Yeah, and this group was formed by a guy who is an industry writer for one of like the top industry magazines, you know, trade industry magazine. He always writes these analysis of the industry for Brain, Bicycle Retailer and Industry News. Well, at some point many years ago, he started this page for people like myself that are, you know, recovering alcoholics or whatever, and a place for us to hang out on Facebook as 12-steppers in the bike industry, you know, just a community, fellowship, that sort of thing. You know, nice, really cool idea. You know, when I like came across it, I'm like, hey, that's me. I've never seen a post on this page about sobriety. It is filled with people from the bicycle industry thinking that it's a page on like, somehow we're going through something in the industry that's so traumatic that we need to recover from it, which I just think is hilarious, right? And so everybody's in there trying to figure out how to solve this problem that is working in bike shop. Because you're so doomed if you work in a bike shop. You know, and I've like made this channel, you know, like bicycle mechanics are assholes, and like you've seen me be critical of cycling and everything on this channel, right? And it's like, because it's completely absurd. All of it is absolutely absurd. And I'm like, just quit, you know? Can't hack it? Get your jacket. So there was a post yesterday, somebody asking, you know, what do you do in the off season to keep the lights on? You know, especially here, you know, right now. I mean, you just saw what it looks like outside. Nobody's riding bikes in this shit. I mean, okay. Fat bikers do. Get a fat bike. Fat bikers ride in the snow. Nobody rides in the snow. So, I mean, come October 1st, not even, September 14th, nobody goes to bike shops anymore. So I just close during the winter, I always have. Years ago, I started a charity. I worked the charity for a few years, but then eventually I figured out how to make videos. And now that's what I do, not only in the off season, but in the all the time season. So instead of like spending $4,000 million on stocking up with fat bikes that nobody buys, or starting a fat bike rider group in my community and like trying to create a community around something that really nobody ever wants to do, because riding a bike in the cold and snow sucks. You know, the industry would say, oh no, you have to go promote this new bike category or this new sport or style of cycling or something. If you want to survive, you have to like, you know, keep innovating and coming up with dumber reasons to ride a bike. Here we've got some more schmutzy boo-boos on the frame. There's just enough goof off on this rag. It hasn't all evaporated off, but man, that fart sucker is really evaporating it. I don't know if that was proper English. Anyway, the people in that group that are always trying to solve this problem, and they like overanalyze the whole industry and like all this stuff. You know, they're really trying to make it work. They want to be in the bike industry. They want to work in a bike shop. They want to make money at this somehow, and they just keep digging in further and further and, coming up with different excuses and whatever. I'm like, man, reminds me of back in the day when I used to drink. I was so desperate to find reasons to drink like a moron that I would like go to the bar and watch NFL games and be part of that whole thing. That's how bad it got. Well, anyway, so I commented on that post that I'm like, I just started making videos. Like anybody can just go make amazing videos. I mean, this is like, whoa, good content. What am I even doing here? This thing isn't waking up. Wake up! Wake up! Oop, there it is. You could pay a guy $120 an hour to do this. Or you could accept the fact that bicycles are toys and fixing them is a hobby. Or just watch me do it on YouTube. Well, one of my wonderful BikeFarmer viewers commented on my comment, replied to my comment. Let's use specific language here. And was like, hey, I really admire what you've done with the channel. And first of all, I was like, admire me? Oh man, God help you, right? But then went on to say, but they were like, being critical is necessary and all this stuff. However, all caps, however, how does this help? How does any of this help anybody, trying to innovate and adapt and be relevant and profitable in this market? And I'm thinking, whatever gave you the impression that I'm trying to be helpful in any kind of way? Then I took a screenshot of the page's about section that explains that this is like for 12-steppers in the bicycle industry, and that it actually has nothing to do with recovering, like any kind of like recovery effort for the bike industry. But that's how bad it's gotten. It's like people are like, we have to band together to save this sinking ship. Extra special thank you to the viewer that sent me this engineer made in Japan screw pliers, but you can like grab a screw like this and it's like tight. It ain't going nowhere. I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm not saying that I know everything. But I am saying that I know enough. And I think that knowing when to quit, move on, and do something else is a very undervalued lesson to be teaching our children. Everybody's like, you should never quit. Finish what you started. I just don't think that's the case. Hardly ever. I mean, you have to like work through adversity and like put in the work on a path to recovery, no doubt about it. You don't want to give up hope too early. But at some point, it's like just try something else, Stop beating your head against the wall. Got to take action, Get a hobby, like fixing bikes. I sure do like fixing bikes, I like the fact that you guys do learn something from me here, And I do like taking these, old, seemingly valueless bikes, and doing this totally absurd, pointless work to them to get them rideable again, or to get these bolts unrustified. Anyway, I think Facebook's making me dumber. I mean, who's on Facebook? Oh, dropped a rusty water bottle screw. Woody Charleston, everybody. I am Governor Cherry Brown. We could clean this up, you know, especially if we had like a big polishing wheel, you know, but it's a lot easier just to replace it. And this doesn't even click. Oh, look at that. Oh, she's a beaut, Clark. It's a 4-bagger. Make note. All right, we're just gonna take some one step here. It's a cleaner and lubricant. I'm letting gravity help me out here. Trying to get it past the seal, which is easier said than done. I don't want to take it all apart. That's what we're trying to avoid here. I don't know if I can take a poker tool maybe. Trying out some new camera settings today for the tech geeks out there. Okay, so there is, I don't know if I can zoom in post on this. Okay, so I can get a little poker tool past the seal maybe. Try to get some juice down in there. And to the viewer that's also on that page that made the comment, I appreciate your comment. I really do. I'm not trying to be hard on you here. I do understand what you're saying and I appreciate it and everything. I am trying to be helpful, I suppose. It's just that my kind of helpful is like helping people. I think what you're reacting to is like my videos where I'm like, fix your own damn bike. I'm closing my shop because what's the frickin' point? And that's where I've gotten, you know. Kudos to you if you're gonna stick it out and try to have a go at it. Okay, so this, oh, the whole skewer just came apart on me. Look at that. It's totally okay. Maybe we need some better degreaser down in there. Maybe I'm just not going at this very well. I just don't want to take it all apart. I don't like taking apart free hubs because it's just a whole thing and it's just not worth it with this bike. We want to just kind of get this thing functioning. Maybe if we heat it up. Oh, I don't want to burn the seal. I'm gonna burn the seal. Whoops. I can smell it. My bad. Steamy. mean, that definitely helped. Now you can hear it clicking. Thing is it gonna just firm up as soon as it cools down? Probably by golly. Little speed degreaser. Right. We can do better. Sorry you guys can't really see what I'm doing here. This is how you spray degreaser in your eye. It's functioning. I've got Mr. Sandman in my head. The Cordettes from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, home of Johnsonville brats. How about that for some random knowledge? Saw Jeff Tweedy live in concert. I think I might have talked about this in a video already. But anyway, the kids from the neighborhood came out and did a little ditty. They learned it and did the harmonies and everything. It was so good. Backup band. And then I saw the video on Instagram. Maybe I saw it on Facebook and shared it. Because who's on Facebook anymore anyway? I gotta get off Facebook. That's all there is to it. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution. Anyway, somebody commented on it and then I accidentally clicked. Now the song's in my head. Now it's probably gonna be in your head today too. You're welcome. Well, that took a lot longer than I wanted it to. So here's the thing, is this is the best angle, right? But then I hit my Allen keys. I need to move the Allen keys. It's a really good spot for the Allen keys though, too. And then this whole thing with the lighting. I don't know. You want to see something funny? That's my lighting configuration. This one actually has intermediate, which doesn't do shit. Anyway. And somebody said use, parchment paper to diffuse the light. It works pretty good. So thank you for that recommendation. True thing stand, I've been speaking the truth this whole video. We'll skip the truthing stand rant for today. Although this looks pretty good, so I could talk to you. I mean, from the little viewfinder that I got. How's my forehead looking? Huh? Big and shiny? I just set the camera back on auto, by the way. The last video with the old wall color was maddening. I think it was that dark blue purple wall color that was just the wrong paint color. I thought it was gray and it ended up being really blue when I put it on the wall. And then that bike had crunchy old tan sidewall tires, like gumwall or whatever. And then what else? It had something else that was kind of that orange, brownish color. And the two contrasting colors. And I had the camera set on aperture priority, which I'm not even really sure I understand what that means, but I had done some Googling and somebody had said something in a comment, and so I tried it for a few videos, and it just kept like changing the exposure, I think. You know, like it was just flickering and terrible. And the color was all off. That video just looked like crap. That's the Schwinn cross-cut video. Now it's performing 4 of 10, so it's the
4th best performing video from the last 10, which is acceptable. You know, it's not exciting, but not a dud. Like the one before it was the 10th out of 10. I don't even remember what video that was, but it was really just boring and kind of not great. But still the BikeFarmer vibe. And most of you are here for the BikeFarmer vibe. And I'm really starting to figure out that's all this channel is a vibe, and that's good enough. I don't need to be anything else but a vibe. So anyway, I just put the camera back on auto, and I painted the wall this gray color, which I think is fantastic so far. And then this new truthing stand angle from the last couple months is super weird how I get really big and then I get really small back here. Actually, this is an asymmetrical wheel because rear wheels, the spokes on the drive side are shorter and the non-drive side are a little bit longer. So they can put the spoke heads on this side and build up the material on that side of the rim. So that's what that asymmetrical. It's a thing they were doing for a while. And these mountain bikes, just to make them a little stronger and lighter. As if that's something that's important on this grade of bicycle. It's really not. But hey, you know, optimizing bicycles is fun. You know, arguably, the whole thing is a hobby, and these are just toys. They're just toys at some point. Now, they can be used for transportation or utility or whatever, and then they're not toys, right? They're tools. But for the most part, people are using bicycles for recreation, and they're just toys. But I think it's the fixing of bikes that's fun, not even the riding them. I do like riding them too. But I'm getting back to the point where I like fixing them more than riding them. I haven't been riding much lately. And certainly not at night or in the snow. It's funny, on I made a short, on the, so I've been trying to make shorts lately too. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube shorts. Which is kind of fun. It's a different style of video production. And somebody commented on the shorts, like they haven't seen my long form or had no idea, and they're like, you know, you should try randoneering, do a 400K in the dark or something. It's like, bro. Yeah, I painted and then redid all the lights and everything to try to make this stuff as watchable as possible. Continuous improvement. It's not something I do deliberately. It's just my natural way. For the most part. Depending on what I care about at a given time. Look at this filthy rag. What the? Look at how filthy it is. Okay. Governor Cherry Brown, everybody. We've got a Schrader valve on this one. And one of these stupid French, whatever you call the skinny, I don't even know, like you can't fill them up at the gas station valves. Little deburring tool, also from a viewer sent, fan mail. Bontrager Jones tires. They look pretty threadbare on the sides, but lots of tread left. You know, I'm just kind of pretty okay with it, especially for the purposes here. Oh man, dang it. It wasn't big enough. Three-eighths. That is the answer to the question that everybody had, including myself. I just kind of eyeballed it. Actually, what I did is I took a valve cap. You know, it doesn't even fit on the 3/8. I don't know. I don't make the rules. Shit, bro. I don't even follow the rules. That's backwards. I drop things and put tires on backwards. That's what I do here. Oh, that's pretty darn good. Make those shiny. But I got to jiggle it just a little bit. Harry Belafonte wrote that song for his wife, Imelda Marcos. You can see down here this extra light. Well, I can at least. And that's just the morning sun peeking out through the clouds, which bodes well for the snowshoeing. We're gonna have good light out there. I think I'm gonna bring the Osmo. I should charge it. Make a video. Maybe for members. Channel members. Oh, that sounded like a fart. This thing's coming back to life. See what happens after some cleaning and lubing if this brake does what it's told. You can see it's pulling way to the left. Yep, it's pulling to the left like Bruce Springsteen's Politics. Got in a little hometown jam. So they put a rifle in my hand. Sent me off to a foreign land to go and kill the yellow man. Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. All right, I found a used chain here. Well, plenty long. Man, yeah, it's just not moving freely back there. I don't know how we're gonna get that warmed up or whatever. God, I just don't want to have to take it all apart. Well, I don't have Mr. Sandman in my head anymore.
This is good content. What are you doing with your life? Why are you watching this?
Ugh. Never mind, it's back. Now there should be a pawl somewhere. It's back here. Oh, wasn't that stuck? You know, it was almost ready to go on its own. Make sure you put enough on there. In there. This front cable is incredibly long. This rear cable is incredibly long. This bike took way longer than expected. But it's been a very fun video today. I have enjoyed it. I have a feeling we're going to be taking this apart. Is that hanger bent? It looks really straight. I'm looking at it from back here. I think it's just limit screws. This limit screw is backed way out. Is that the high or the low? I cannot see. We're gonna turn this one in. Okay, so that's the high limit. This is the low limit. See how far out that low limit is? Okay, so that's big and big. It's noisy AF, which you'd expect. It's a very tight cable. Ooh, that's quiet. Okay. Yeah, so I've got it in gear, and then if you turn the limit in until, okay, oh, dropped my screwdriver. But that's because I was holding the screwdriver very lightly. So hold it very lightly until there. Okay, so that's, the screw is tight. And I mean, that's acceptable, but I always back it off like a half a turn. Okay, so that was too much. It's a very quarter turn in. Yeah. All right, low gear. We're gonna kind of noisy up front here, but it's acceptable. Man, I just don't know. You know, can we just like spin it enough where it moves freely? You know, that's not good. It wants to ride itself. You know, everything's working pretty good on this bike, so we might as well. I don't want to. I want to get going. I want to go snowshoeing. All right, this could be a gigantic can of worms. It could be a case of me not knowing what I'm doing. It could be that, no, see, it's annoying. Let's talk about all the ways that this is annoying. You know, you can't get a cone wrench in there, so you have to loosen this side first. It's just not an easy maintenance issue to solve. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it is what it is. It's easier than working on a car, right? Yeah, I watch the car guys, the car channels. That's what I watch primarily, to be honest with you. I've been watching Simon Fordman, who is amazing, video production. And I mean, his cars are so clapped out, and the shit he'll go through to get something fixed. It's just, I mean, these guys just have way more patience than I ever have had. So I just loosen that side a little bit, which allows me to pull up on that and get my wrench back there. But these guys will, and like I also watch Vice Grip Garage, Derek Bieri, because he's just so good with his banter and the consistency of his videos. But anyway, the same with him is he just doesn't get like frustrated like I do.
Then I was watching a newish channel, a kid that's refurbishing a wooden boat, who just makes everything more difficult than it needs to be for whatever reason, to prove something to himself or something. He's Canadian, so maybe it's just that, like, you know, Canadians have to come up with reasons to suffer. And he would get frustrated with things and show it on his channel. But he's more like into the go out in the woods and make life harder than it needs to be. Like survival, but not really survival kind of thing. Oh. Balls! Okay, so then this is the 10 millimeter, which isn't big enough. I think I've got an 11 somewhere. BRB. Oh, dropped a wrench. I don't even know what size this is, but it's not the right size. This is a 12 millimeter. See what I mean, kids? Like, for reals. Oh, it is the right size. Okay. So, all right, so we're gonna, this way? No, this way, all right? Let's see here. Nope. Nope. Dropping balls like crazy. Dropping balls like Galileo dropped the orange. I don't think it's coming off. But we're in it now, aren't we? All the balls on this side are coming out nice and easy. They're all stuck in there. I need a magnet. Come on, get out of there. Can you get degreaser around? Ooh, it's coming in from that side. There we go. Okay. Okay, so you can get degreaser in from the back side of the cup that's in there. Oh, yeah. Winning. Oh, you hear that? That's so much better. The question is, though, is what about re-lubricating? How does that work?
what's my move here? I mean, there's gotta still be lubrication in there. You know, my favorite part of the snowshoeing, okay, I don't wanna do that anymore. I wanna get this seal out of there, but I don't think I do. My favorite part of the snow, okay, well, here it comes. Is going past the Pinecone restaurant on the way. Now, it's only the next exit down. Like, I can go anytime I want. I remember hearing once if you take a ball peen hammer and hit it with another hammer, it'll explode. Pinecone Restaurant is a truck stop. Greasy Spoon. And they've got like a bakery. You know? I mean, it's pretty insane. Wow. It's like cleaning a carburetor. But, I mean, we got her. We got her cleaned out, folks. That's how you get in there. You take it all apart, get that seal out of there, and then just flush it. Not quite as satisfying as a morning constitutional, but man, it's pretty darn close. Ready? The aeration of the carcinogens. You know, I shouldn't joke about that, but there's a lot of things I shouldn't do that I do for the sake of good content. So that is Phil's Tenacious Oil. Getting in there. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. Now, we got balls all over the floor. How's my bald spot? I take minoxidil for it. It's a weird one, isn't it? Isn't that weird? Can you guys see it? Okay, that's good content. All right, so 9 balls on each side. Imagine having 9 balls, guys. Wouldn't that be weird? There's a whole sack full of them. This thing's been working good lately. You know what I mean? All right. Theoretically, those balls ain't going nowhere. Theoretically. All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. What? No, okay, 9. I vacuumed yesterday when I did all the upgrading to the wall and the lights and everything. I decided to run a vacuum too. So I can drop as many balls as I want today. Uh-oh, dropped a ball. Uh-oh, dropped a ball. There's lots of degreaser on the floor too, so the carpet cleans them. Oh, shoot, what just happened? Where'd it go? Oh no, danger. There's a ball out of place somewhere in there. Oh no, it fell through. Sweet. I'm going to use the grease as a gluish. Okay, get her back together here. We've got a cone. We've got a washer slash spacer. Okay. Oh, what the heck? Look what I just found on the bench. How'd that happen? It's like magic. I think I know where it goes though. Gotta back her up. Yep. I only had 8. I don't know. I have no idea how that got there. Sleight of hand. I might have had some grease on my hand. It stuck to it or something. Okay. So I've got a ton of threads on this side and hardly any on this side. That needs to be rectified. I mean, it's probably good enough for who it's for. It's not great. Oh, wrench slipped. I don't know why I can get the wrench on this side now, but I can. Okay, it's not the smoothest thing, but it's good enough for who it's for. Improvements have been made. Might as well clean it. It's got goo all over it. Probably from spraying the crap out of it before. Man, is that clicky. Clicky clacky. It's probably a good thing I can't whistle better than I can, or I'd be doing it all the time. Well, I gotta say, I think I learned something there. And I also gotta say that this wheel isn't, I did something wrong putting it back together. Something's, oh, might just be the skewer. Yeah, just the skewer, I think. Well, now it's all like wonky off to one side too. Did I put the axle in backwards? Oh, I must have. I thought I mentally compensated for this. You know, like I just loosened this side. mean, this has to be the non-drive side. Okay, so when I put this wheel in the bike frame, it's like way off center. And that wheel was perfectly true before, but that's not the rim that's bent. That has something to do with the hub. Now the hub is kind of tight, but it was like loose in spots, so I tightened it. But like, I'm thinking that maybe I moved one of the cups inside, you know, like the cups aren't seated or something in the hub. But I like was convinced that the cones got swapped. And like this side, I don't know, there is something seriously wrong inside this hub. And I don't know exactly what. And I want to get going with the rest of my day. So I'm putting this on hold. I'm going to sleep on it and come back tomorrow and fix it in the morning. So good night. Alrighty, kids. I gotta be honest with you. I just don't know what's going on with this. Like I said, I think maybe there's a cup in there wrong or something. Like in all that messing around, I bumped something. Or, remember that extra ball I found? Maybe that is like not seated properly because I just kind of haphazardly threw that in there. Let's do this the way I know how to do it. One more time. Okay, so spinning this, I can see the balls are moving around in there, and I don't know why. Okay, and there's like 2 balls floating around in space here, and I don't know why. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what the heck? This ball is not the same as the others. This ball bearing is a totally different size than the others. How did that go down? Huh. Okay. Is that true? That would be super weird. Oh, here's another one. Oh, I bet there's 2 different size balls depending on which side of the hub. They're not the same on both sides. That's what's going on. We got tiny balls on one side and big balls on the other.
Well, I've never seen anything like that. How would anybody even ever know? Is it true though? Or is it an optical illusion because of all the grease? It would explain everything. Pop that one off too, then hey. Wow. What a discovery. Is it even true though? It appears to be. That's a big ball. Okay. Well, this is why I never open hubs. You know, can of worms situation here, folks. It looks like the non-drive side is for big balls. And the drive side is for tiny balls. Well, I'll be dipped. Is it true though? Is this the big balls side of things? You can do this on a bench with a rag underneath, and then you won't have balls flying all over the place, but my bench is filthy and I like sitting on this chair. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh. Come on. There it is. Let's see how this feels. Oh my God, it feels so good. It feels very good. Where'd that dusting cap go? My, oh my, does that feel way more better, hey? You know, this bike didn't have a lot of miles on it at all, and you can really tell with these hubs. That is silky smooth and even all the way around. Glad I slept on it. You know, we're gonna do a little cheater method and just tighten this up a smidge. That feels really good. That still feels really good. Oh. Okay, the moment of truth. So that slides into the dropouts way better. And it is straight in the frame. So 2 different size balls meant that because the balls were just that much bigger, you kind of had half and half, that it made everything wonky and tilty, but also brought everything out a few millimeters on either side, and just a few millimeters difference in the axle made the whole wheel sit crooked in the frame.
It's causing all sorts of problems. Fascinating development. Slight difference up here. Oh, the wheel wasn't in straight. Perfect. Just exactly perfect. All right. And the bike doesn't seem to be pedaling itself anymore. Well, maybe a little bit in high gear. Yeah, it's still doing that a little bit. That's not good. Maybe we shouldn't have put the fills in there. I'm definitely not taking it apart anymore. But, I mean, that is problematic. You know, like you can't really have that. Eee. Will that fills break down over time? That is super annoying. All of that. All right, I'm calling it. I gotta finish this video. Oof. I kind of feel like this bike won. To be totally honest, I grabbed this bike from somewhere. I can't remember where. Maybe the Charity? Because it's a made in the USA aluminum frame. And I thought that it would be a good base for like an ATV build or something a little more involved on the channel. And yesterday, since it was a snow day and it was a Sunday, and I like to drop videos on Tuesday, I thought, oh, I'll just come in and tune that bike up quick and rant and rave about bicycles being toys and fixing them being a hobby and make that video instead. And I was like, I'm just gonna use this bike as something to work on while I rant. That's how all of this came together. And now I find out that there's all these problems, and I went down this stupid rear hub rabbit hole, and the snow was heavy and the snowblower's broken, and the heater's broken in the garage. So even pulling the snowblower in to take the carb apart and clean that and all that, I have to fix the heater first. And I really want to just go to Menards and buy a heater and heat my garage out because it's 7 degrees outside right now. And there's so many other things I want to be doing besides making a stupid bike video just for a Tuesday drop. But I'm already halfway done with the edit on this bike upstairs, and this is like the last thing I need to be doing. And I'm telling you, what I'm telling you is it would probably just be easier to go get a job at a bike shop. So, if you made it this far, God help you. I can't believe you just wasted all that time watching this nonsense. But I'm forever grateful for it. I think it's entertaining. I'm entertained making them, to be honest with you. Except when it feels like work, which right now it feels like work. And it is work. And, you know, the only reason we have to work is, well, to survive. Because life is work. Like it or not, if you were to just lay there in the morning and not do a thing, you will die in a matter of a couple of days. You need water, you got to get up. You have to work to get your water. Anyway, we've figured out that you can just work for money and then exchange money for the things you need to survive. So, and that's kind of how I operate my life. Then I depend on you for the money. Your attention is enough. So thank you if you watch till the end. But if you have a little bit more to give, you can click that super thanks button and send the money directly to me, and then I can survive with it. Generally by turning it into tacos and into my belly, it turns into energy. I make more videos. You're entertained. If you don't want to do that every time you watch a video, because I assume you're binging these, then just join the channel as a monthly sustaining member, and it all happens automatically. You don't have to worry about a thing, and I eat every month.
That's the best way for everybody. That gets you a little star by your name, gives you priority treatment in the comments, gives you early access to some of the videos as long as I get them done ahead of time, which this one's not going to be done ahead of time. And also late access to the live streams. You can also go to BikeFarmer.com and buy some merch and sport wonderful t-shirts like this awesome BikeFarmer long sleeve, super comfortable. It's like a pajama top. And you can sleep while you watch BikeFarmer in your BikeFarmer merch at BikeFarmer.com. But for yourself, free for nothing, click that notification bell so you and your bikes can stay tuned.